Hello.
Oh, hi.
Hello there. How is everybody doing today? It's a
Good.
new day. How does it feel like on a Thursday, end of the week?
We did this last time we went live.
We moved or on a Thursday?
Did we? Wait a second. What week is this?
This is week.
I feel like we went live on Thursday the last time.
I don't think so. I think we've only been live Wednesdays. That was our original date.
Yeah.
And then Tuesdays.
Oh.
So.
Oh, no. Last time we went live on Thursday was because we had just gotten back from Star Cruiser.
Okay.
And we landed on Tuesday, and that's why we went on Thursday. But this time it's
see,
Ahsoka.
Yeah, we're just kind of flexible. So
Always Star Wars. Star Wars getting in the way of things. Of us talking about Star Wars.
So, welcome everybody. I saw Justin. I saw Mike. I saw Nate.
Dawn.
Carrie. You're able to catch it live. Jessica's in here.
Austin's
It's wonderful.
in here.
It's wonderful that you guys
Galen is here.
show up even on like us moving around. I think that's the thing too. Is like we don't have any like hard lines. It's more of just kind of like we got to figure out like when we can hang out. And we're, the boys started doing YouTube. So
Did the boys being Thank the Maker?
Thank the Maker. So they started doing YouTube. They see us and they're like, we're gonna get the top spot. So they go Wednesday, and so we move over to Tuesday, and then Dano decides to have the watch parties.
Well, the
His,
watch
his,
parties.
his were always Tuesday or that evening.
Yeah, because he would do his watch parties on Tuesday evening because the episode would come out at midnight, and he's Pacific time, so it was perfect. But now that Ahsoka comes out,
It's nice.
it's
really
nice. It's like 6 hours earlier than it was, I think. So now he does his watch parties earlier, and then also we can't compete with Ahsoka. Like, we want to watch it too, so it doesn't make any sense for us to go live.
Yeah.
And we also don't do hot takes or anything like that. Like, we don't discuss the shows too much.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make sense for us to do anything on Tuesday.
So it's just chill, and then we just move it around.
Just chill. It's
But-
no big deal. Naomi's here. Heath's here.
Julie, yes, big day tomorrow.
Yes. it
But
is.
as you guys can see, we have these wonderful drinks in
holding
front of
them up?
us.
Oh, hey. Pew, pew. You can tell that yours has more of a topping than mine, sir.
So this is our attempt at a Silver Sea Martini.
Yes.
And I think this was something that you wanted to make.
Yes.
And once there was some kind of involvement in it, I had to get in it. And I had to start okay, we got to figure this out.
You got to hold it from up here because you're tipping it
Uh-oh.
and you're scaring me. I'm like, yes, okay. Okay.
I'm going to take a
Okay, let's
little
go.
sip. Oh, that's fantastic.
That's good. I think that
Try mine.
try yours. Is yours it? Try mine.
Try mine. Mine's it.
So we'll dive into our secrets. Like I said, we did not get a chance to record this. Here, try mine. I think I put too much lemon in mine. Yours is really well balanced,
Yeah.
and that's a lot of alcohol on the top of that drink. I like it.
Oh, it's good.
Ooh, it's gonna be a good live.
But no, yeah. So we kind of got it in our heads that we wanted to make this drink, and it has been an adventure.
It has. It's been really fun though. So
I think the only thing is it's a longer process because you're drinking the drinks.
yeah, and gin is a very strong alcohol. It's very spirited, let's say. So I had put the call out. I think it was just about a week ago. So
That's the next one, Galen.
We've gone through an entire.
Galen says.
Uh-oh, where's our mouse?
Let me get it. I want the recipe for the crate reactor. I think that was my favorite one. Yeah, that's I think the next one we want to try.
Yeah, and so our friend Brian Anderson did recreate
The actual
the whole crate reactor, which is fantastic because that means you didn't have to do it. Because when we went, when we went in May, I think you and Dano took apart and how does this thing go together? And the poor chemists were like, please don't do that. We'll let us help you. And but Brian Anderson put a file out there for free.
Yeah.
For the actual drink stand. So it's on, our printer is busy at work at the moment, but that's on
Thingiverse.
It's on the list. Ooh, new Mark of the Huntress. Mark of the Huntress sounds, it's good. I like that one.
It is good.
I like it because, isn't it bourbon?
I believe so.
Or it's a brown. It's a brown liquor.
It's a stronger one,
Yeah, it is, but it's not.
See, that's the thing. So there's a Hoth icebreaker. There's just so many of them that that's gonna be a big thing. Like, we're gonna have to go and like get all our taste buds, you know, memorizing these tastes so that way we can recreate them.
Yeah. So we'll put the recipe out there very simply, but we'll tell you the full like food blogger blog post of our journey now. So I put the call out like a week ago, and I was just like, somebody please send me this recipe, because I was hoping that there was one that was just going to be like perfect. And I ended up getting 3 or 4 recipes sent to me, and they were all different. And I was like, they don't all like, some of them looked like it, but maybe had different ingredients than what was listed on the menu, or they didn't look like it, but it did have the ingredients. And so we were trying to figure out, like, how do we make it just like they do on Star Cruiser? Like, how do we make it look and taste like it is on Star Cruiser?
I think that's the hard part, is they give you the main ingredients.
Yeah.
Right? They give you...
Which we'll tell you is gin, lemon, mint, ginger. There's one more.
Passion fruit.
Very good, passion fruit. He calls it pomegranate every single time.
Passion fruit.
Passion fruit. It's 5 ingredients.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the only thing.
That's the only thing they give you. Yeah, that's what they give you.
And then also the hydromenate secretions.
Oh yeah.
But they don't put that on the menu. So it's only those 5 ingredients. How do you balance that? You know what's in it.
Yeah.
But how do you balance that drink? How do you make it the colors? Because passion fruit is like yellowish orange. It's like school bus.
Well, no, the more pure extract is like, there's a orange pink to it.
Yeah.
It's like more fruity looking.
So we have passion. Oh, is the music still on pretty loud?
Yeah.
It's getting loud over here. The song is bopping.
Yeah, it's down.
But we have passion fruit puree, which is just like straight up passion fruit juiced, for the Outer Rim recipe that we recreate from Moga's Cantina. But that was like yellow. We're like, there's no way that's in this. And so we went with the passion fruit syrup, which was like a darker yellow or darker orange kind of.
Yeah, it's more reddish orange.
Yeah. But if you put something like that, you're not going to get this color.
And we knew that the pink luster was in there to give that.
The luster dust, yeah. Bad Batch Mama's here. She's en route to Dragon Con right now. Cece's in here. Troy's in here. Oh, man. But yeah, so it's taken a while. We had to get multiple different variations of ingredients to try to get the bottom. Essentially what you want to do is you want to get what's on the bottom as clear as possible so that you can put the pink luster dust in and turn it pink, because none of the ingredients themselves, like ginger, lemon, passion fruit, none of those are.
And this is where
pink.
This is where we kind of went back and forth, because in the Spirits of Adventure version of it, it's in a more tubular glass.
Yeah.
And when you order it through just Sublight, it's like in a martini, like
it's one of these.
One of these type glasses.
We bought the glasses.
But that one tends to be more pink.
Mm-hmm.
The Spirits of Adventure one is more clear. And because this last voyage we went on, the whole trip, like, it's pinkish, but once you put a light under it, that's kind of like the
silver sea.
Yeah, you get the silver sea martini,
so
silver.
If you light it, then it's supposed to turn this bit silver. And I can show you. Because I don't know that we necessarily got that piece of it, but it's supposed to go more silver than pink.
I mean, on camera, it looks...
Just looks brighter.
It looks silver.
I mean, and maybe it could also be the type of glass. because you can't really get like fully.
And that's another like we went on like a full like chemist
science.
Yeah, we definitely scienced.
We should have had goggles.
Because again, we had the red passion fruit and mixed it, and we couldn't get that color.
No,
it was too like.
It was muddied.
Yeah,
looking. It wasn't cute. It was not. It didn't look like something you wanted to drink. It was like kind of grayish brown.
And then the glasses we had were
wine glass.
Yeah, they were normal wine glasses,
like big, like cab glasses.
And one of the chemists would get. Yeah. See, that's the thing. Is like
I didn't want to reach out to the chemist though, because I was like, I don't think they're allowed to even tell you like what the recipe is, because that's proprietary information. So I'm just we'll post it and we'll put it out there and be like, so
this is our version.
Is this close?
But yeah, the glass was too closed in.
Yeah.
So when you would mix the drink, you would smell the gin. And so we're like, okay, that's not working. And at that time, we hadn't really figured out, and again, it's an easy YouTube search of learning how to layer drinks.
Yeah.
The more dense stuff is going to be at the bottom. Alcohol's at the top.
It's like straight up science, though.
So we figured out, okay, the alcohol has to be at the top.
Yeah. And the gin itself is purple.
Yeah.
Like so it's a purple gin.
That's where we knew that they have the pea, what is it called?
The butterfly pea flower.
So that, I think that may be what they use on Star Cruiser. They just make their gin blue. But there is a drink, it's Empress Gin, where it has like a bluish purple hue to it already. It has like,
but it's infused with that exact. So we bought the powder, we bought white gin, but then we also had the Empress Gin that was already colored. And honestly, I think they use Empress Gin because the other gin that we tried didn't taste like.
Now maybe but it's more blue.
And it was more blue, yeah.
So that's the thing where I think that they color it themselves because it's just more blue.
Right. Which, fun fact, that's also what they use to color the blue shrimp.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't have a taste. Jessica Mihu says, I had a nap after Spirits of Adventure and forgot to meet Ray.
that could take some people out because that last
drink, Drabor's Delight. So we've done Spirits of Adventure twice now, and we did it the first time. I was unprepared. Like, we went to lunch. I was like, okay, we're going to have alcohol. Let's eat lunch. And I was, like, gone. And we had pictures, remember, like, right after that?
There you go, Trey. Trey's saying,
ooh.
Yes. Or, yeah. Pea flower changes color based on acid versus base, like litmus paper.
I get that, but why would it change white gin blue, but if Empress Gin is already purple, do they add something
another
to
thing
it?
too is we forgot the lemon, and so the drink wasn't as pink.
Yeah.
Once we added
the lemon, because we added too much pink to mine. We added too much of the lusterness to mine.
And then you add lemon to it, and it turned like a deep pink.
Yeah.
So
it's been super interesting. So yeah, you have to. The basics of it is that the mix at the bottom, it has some alcohol in it, but you're putting most of the alcohol on top, which means when you drink it, if you don't take a big enough swig,
it's 2 ounces total.
Yeah, but if you don't take a big enough swig, you're just getting
gin.
A full gin.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've enjoyed it, and we tried to use as like fresh of ingredients as possible. So we ended up buying a big old hunk of ginger and cutting it up and making our own simple syrup and infusing it. We've been using yours is disappearing. I need to try it again. We've been using real mint leaves, but then I bought mint extract, which is not like peppermint. It's like mint, mint leaves.
Well, and I think we were trying all the different ways of making it. Again, we did the gin with the blue.
I think the extract might be closer.
Yeah. Just to get the taste right and the look right, we tried all the different variations of stuff. More passion fruit, less ginger, and it was fun. It was fun just like trying to figure it out, see how it was and stuff.
Yeah, it was fun. But yes, we went through tons of ingredients. I ended up like doubling down. I was like, we need twice as much mint because we ran out of mint a day or two ago when we were trying to. We're like, whoa, now we have this kind of gin.
Well, that was the weird when I went to go pick up the second bottle of gin. I had to talk, I had to talk to the guy at the shop because I was like, I don't want him to think like we're some kind of booze hound or something. I was like, no, this is what I'm trying to do. We're trying to mix this and. So
we're trying to make lots of drinks, even though we were in here 3 days ago buying a bottle of gin. They use pea flower as one of the magic drinks at Abracadabra. We've never gone there. We need to do that.
It is, Galen. Especially when you're getting like specific drinks, like trying to get the blue one or which one.
This was a fun experiment, but also before we get into the crate reactor, my liver needs a break. Because we could do like maybe 2 a night.
Yeah.
And so we would do basically 4. We would do 4 variations because like you would make a drink, we'd tweak it a little bit and then make my drink. Yeah. And then we're like, oh, not quite. Let's do it again. Do another one.
And then there was some things where it was so involved that I was like, this can't be what they do at Sublight. Because that was like some of the testing. It was like, there was just too much involvement. And I was like, it doesn't feel like if someone ordered it, they're going to go through this entire process to serve a drink. So it was
interesting. So it was like a milk clarified punch. And so what you do is you essentially make the drink and then you have whole milk and you pour that into the milk and it clarifies. I don't know if it clarifies the color out or something, but the milk curdles and you have to leave it out for a bit. I'm interested at the science behind it, but at the same time, I was like, I can't drink something that was sitting in curdled milk.
Yeah.
And then also they don't list milk as an ingredient. So I was like, well, we'll move away from that, but maybe we'll get into that later. Maybe we'll become mixologists. We'll be our own chemists. Heroes is in here too. Hello, Podchaser. Goodbye, productivity. I mean, you've been making Podchasers for... long before Star Cruiser. Although I do want to try the Mandalore Sling.
Yeah.
Because it's the same glass. What I realized.
It would be nice to have like a full menu that we could choose from.
Yeah.
So.
Just have our own little like sublight lounge in the house, and it's got the containers up top. You know what I'm talking about? That'd be fun. Favorite 0 proof libation. The Gem of Ryloth is really, really good. It's sweet, but it's really good and it's fun. And then there's also the blue milk fizz. I forget exactly what it's called. But it's like a Sprite blue milk and it's got blue milk sorbet on it.
This last voyage, the sparkling water. I don't know what it was, but maybe because it was just like on tap. I don't know. I was just like going nuts. And like afterwards,
suggestion.
I was just like, man, this is like really good. I don't know what's going on, but it's really good.
It was super funny. You turned to me like a week later and you're like, I have a confession. I was like, what? You're like, I think I really like sparkling water. Okay. I'm like, where did you drink sparkling water? We don't have it here. I mean, we've got Topo Chico, but we don't drink that like on the regular. But it was just
I don't know.
funny.
It was just like refreshing. So
I just love the tap over there that you could just walk over and just get a little cup.
Like nice and crispy.
So good. So good. But yeah, so I think we'll probably end up working our way probably through the entire menu. But that Drabor's Delight's going to have to be the last one, and it's going to take the longest.
Just because there's like one.
I can't even do like the full.
Built some.
I could hardly do the full drink because when we did Spirits of Adventure again on this last voyage, and I was just like, I was dreading it the whole time. I was like, I know it's coming. I know it's going to be strong. And it didn't feel as strong as the last time. But the chemists were like, come on, man, you can do this. They were like hyping me up. And I'm like, I'm just going to sit here for a while. Build some shelves behind you for all the alcohol bottles. Here's the thing. We were talking about this. Like, can you make cocktails on a live?
I don't know.
We don't know. We don't know what the rules are because you don't know if there's alcohol in this or not. So I guess maybe like having the bottles. I don't know. We don't know the rules. We don't make them up. We're here to Have a good time.
Have a good time.
Have a good time. You can. You don't want to hear the shaker. It's so loud. I know Galen asked earlier how to, or what we were doing for our 4-day weekend.
Yeah, we might be in your neck of the woods, so.
I didn't realize it was a 4-day, or that it was a long weekend, until like Monday. I'm like, oh man.
We should have went to Dragon Con.
We should have. Had I known it was going to be a long weekend, I probably would have planned something, and you would have been like, please stop planning. Please stop planning things.
So.
Plenty of D&D Tavern YouTube streams. The other thing is, too, is like, I'm just a lightweight, just in general. So.
The PNS Cantina.
Hey.
Yeah, so that's been fun doing all that. You know, if you've been following me on Instagram, Mike had a good post earlier, but I've been I was watching the Sabine helmet. I watched it, you know, I got it or pre-ordered it, and then found out that it was the pre-orders were sold out. Somebody messaged me that they had, hopefully they come to the parks, because the last couple ones they've been coming to the parks.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why Hasbro's
doesn't have as many.
Doesn't have as many, because they plan on giving them out to Disney.
Maybe, but that doesn't make sense, because I mean, I guess technically it is a Hasbro product, right?
Yeah.
So maybe they're like, okay, well, we'll directly sell this money, and then you can have the rest. But Entertainment Earth and Amazon, you said, still had.
You could still do it, but doesn't mean that they have, like, sometimes they'll say, like, yeah, you're going to get, you know, you get it later type of thing. So.
Yeah, that's the one thing with Entertainment Earth, is sometimes it takes a little bit longer to get it.
Because I think they're third party.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's cool, because if you saw the Bo-Katan helmet, it's a different one from that. It looks like, so it's not same. It's not the same mold.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's nice that they're coming out with like different molds for these different helmets.
That's good.
So,
yeah, I just bought a helmet last week. You didn't buy the chopper droid that came out with the Ahsoka pre-order, though.
Oh, like the Droid Depot one?
Yeah. Is it a Droid Depot one?
So it's not a Droid Depot. It's a Disney Shop Disney one.
Or Shop Disney. Because that's how they got us with BD, right? Is like you could buy it online, and that was the one right here on our little pet on our floor, which was like the Shop Disney box. But then it also went to Droid Depot.
I have the new one from Scum and Villainy. It came in today.
Scum and Villainy. Tell us more about that. Brent says he's close to Disneyland. If you ever need to smuggle a helmet, we don't need that, Brent. But thank you for the offer.
Yeah, I was talking to Brent about like the actual setup of, you know, mounting it. So.
The helmets.
Yeah.
I like when helmets are on a shelf versus when they're floating.
That's a lot of shelving, though.
It's a lot of hanging too. Like,
but I think it's easier to hang than to shelf all that.
You think so?
I think so.
Because I think you build a bookshelf and then you put it on. The only problem is like, so here's the thing that we've always struggled, like way before we ever started thinking about a podcast, is you've always had helmets, not to the degree that you do now, but they also weren't, it was back when they first started releasing them.
Yeah, because I have like I have a Power Ranger helmet, I have a Daft Punk helmet, I have different helmets. I've just
Master Chief that I can see.
So a bunch of different ones.
But we were always thinking like, how do we do it? And so we've got this like long room, and we're like, okay, well maybe you hang them with a hook up along the top, which I don't know, it just seems kind of morbid to me. It seems like the
trophies.
Like, yeah, like
maybe
a trophy,
that's what it is.
Like
it looks like the
helmet's on a stake. Oh my goodness. Oh no.
Chad.
Thank you. I mean,
thank you, sir.
Now you have a reason.
Thank you, Chad. Thank you, Chad.
Now you have a reason. Thank you. But trying to figure it out. Like, do we put the hooks that belong the top of the wall? Do we put like a shelf up there? But the problem is this. We used to have, oh my God, remember when you had 3 helmets and we had the IKEA shelf and it just had like 3 shelves, 2 shelves on it. I think you could fit 4 helmets on it.
Yeah.
But we ran into an issue because the Darth Vader helmet was too big, or maybe you had Kylo Ren at the time. But anyway, it was too big to fit in that thing. And so we're like, well, we need an alternate solution. And now, like, I can't even imagine how many of those little shelves we would need.
Yeah. And I think I was talking to Nate about it. The boxes are cool. So I was like, what if there was like some way to figure out how to have the box art too? So
that is incredibly millennial of you. They're good boxes.
Well, I'm for these, I'm keeping it because if we ever had to transport them,
okay,
you could put it back in the box and stack the boxes a lot easier than just a bunch of.
What about all those boxes on that shelf right there?
Those are all very nice boxes.
You're not going to take your graphics card out of your computer and put it back in the box.
I may. It's a nice box.
It's a nice box. We did purge some boxes, I think about a year ago, because it was too much. We felt very millennial. We're like, we got to get rid of these. But yeah, now it's not just the helmet inside the box; it's the helmet outside and the box. So now it's like twice as much space. Not the graphics card box. You don't want to see how many graphics cards boxes I'm looking at right now. And like, what is that? A mouse?
No, that's a Gundam.
No, underneath that. The Razer
one. It's a keyboard.
Oh.
See, Chad, a full room just of boxes.
We have a junk room already.
Everybody. You need a nice... I think once it's a nice box, but it gets in your way, then you're like, I don't need you anymore. Yeah. But if it's a nice box and it stays out of the way.
Until you need that space. But I think we should just do some cool shelves. I even think along like whenever we get to the new set, like the next iteration of the set, I think having your helmets on display would be fun.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking along
the back wall.
But yeah, I would prefer shelves. Like, I don't know if Bad Batch Mama's still in here, but
like their setup.
Her and her husband, Bourbon and Buckets. I like that setup a lot. And it's like nice and lit, but I think they've got glass fronts on them too. So here's the other thing I've learned is like the type of person that you want to be, like your visual clutter. So if you had hooks on the walls with helmets everywhere, that's a lot of visual clutter. But if you put it on a shelf that has solid sides, then it's like nice and organized and it's clean and like clean lines. There's less I don't know.
Yeah. Look,
it makes sense to me.
So this is for Dr. Sci-Fi Darren. You get to see.
Oh, you want to see our hands on the other one? Oh.
So.
It's clean.
Yeah, so I don't think this was just like a clever accident. This little trick. But I think we're definitely we're keeping it, trying to, integrate it into the next whatever it is.
Yeah, now you see the 2 cameras. We got a few cameras. Is there a donation to Board Game Cantina said something? Is there a donation we can make that removes boxes?
Oh man, that would be so.
I don't even need
money.
That'd
be so bad.
Just give me one reason.
That would.
They'll disappear so fast.
Imagine that. That's some kind of redemption.
Has to throw away a box.
Like, no.
I remember I went.
Oh, you know what? Actually, speaking of, I think it's a TikTok where this guy he rolls a die, a D20.
Okay.
And it's like if it's a one, complete failure, I think he like trashes it. Or same thing with like he keeps
trashes what?
A box.
Like a millennial box.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so he rolls the die, and if it's like at a certain number, he throws it away, or he keeps it. He gets to stay, and then he has like the great, the D1 and 20. So I was like, I wonder what, like, I only saw one of them, but I thought it was an interesting concept because you're like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? It's like, oh no, that one's going to stay.
Not me, man. As soon as I don't need it, like as soon as I open it, I'm like, boxes. I'll keep it for a few days. So I'm like, maybe I'll return it. But if I decide I'm going to keep it, like get the box out. I don't need it anymore.
You're heartless.
I know. Thank goodness Ash isn't here.
Start
We don't
mailing
line up.
more boxes.
No, please. Yeah, Tyler's displays are really, really good. And then Star Wars Replicas has a really nice one too. It's really, really similar.
Yeah.
So I want something like that. Maybe white, just because we've got the white background. But maybe dark, maybe for our After Dark streams.
Yeah.
We got to figure it out.
I think just figuring out the space. I think that's just the hard part is like, how do you want it to?
Yeah. Well, we've got so many projects that we want to do. But we also have so many, we always have something big coming up. And so we're not able to like, okay, let's work on something that we want to complete by the end of the year.
Yeah, it always gets put on the back burner.
Yeah, we have to prioritize the things that are happening sooner. And so like right now we're rushing for our trip next month. And then 2 weeks later we've got Mosh Eisley. And then the month after that we were doing Life Day in Disneyland, which we're not going to do too much for that one, thankfully. But
that's more of just like a trip.
Yeah. But yeah, it's speaking my language, recycled box. I know nothing more than a recycled bin full of cardboard.
Ugh.
You don't need them. You're never going to use them again.
Who knows? I mean, now not if you're throwing them away.
No.
I'll never use it.
Never. Now, the one thing I will caution, listen to Mom Moshma, is make sure if you're throwing away those iPhone or laptop boxes that you get the serial number off of them, because God forbid they ever get stolen.
Oh, see?
We had our house broken into, and they were like, what are your serial numbers for all the things that were stolen? We're like, we don't know. Like, how are we supposed to know? So
we had a box to go back to.
Thank goodness we had all those boxes. Fold in box,
saved us.
Put in helmet, then a remote light under it, and put on shelf.
I'm surprised there hasn't been something like that made. Like a tip, like what I've seen is a lot of people use like the IKEA shelves and stuff like that. And there's like custom ones where it's like really expensive.
But I think that's probably why, like there's no mid-level display it in the box. That would be cool. Like if you kind of folded it so it was like inverted two ways.
The other part is like I got those turtle figures at Comic-Con, and I really like them, and I want to have those displayed.
You have a lot of cool like collectibles.
So like I think that's the hard part, is just like finding a spot for it, because I don't have like a full collection of things. I just have like
smaller. Away that shelf of boxes right there. No, but how did that fall down?
I don't know.
Something just fell off the table, like across the room.
Ghost is angry about the boxes.
Ew, sorry. That's where they play hide and seek at night. We have a wall. That's the other problem, is we have a wall that I cleared out like a few years ago. I think in the pandemic, I was like, I'm purging everything. That's probably when we threw boxes away. And we cleared out these shelves because we had like DVDs and game discs and like all kinds of stuff on these shelves. And so I was like, hey man, you're getting a lot of helmets at this point, so let's clear out. We don't need DVDs on our shelves in here. Like, we're never going to use them. So we parted ways with a good amount of them.
And now you need to
there's
start.
Still plenty in there. Don't you worry. Okay. The Aqua Teen Hunger Force series is still intact in there.
Good.
But yeah, so we cleared it off and we put all the helmets, and it looked great. It was wonderful until we got more helmets.
That's just the nature of the beast.
Nature of the beast. We have upset the hat box. Oh goodness! Did you see that Roosevelt came out with a Haunted Mansion?
I haven't. I saw the new Falcon one, which was cool.
The gradient one.
Yeah.
But that was a polo, wasn't it?
No.
Oh, it was a regular.
Yeah.
You showed me from like across the room. You're like, check it out. I was like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, too much. I have stuff I wanted. Mike says I have stuff I want to display, but no room to display it.
Yeah, that's the hard part, because like you have to you get to put some things up, but then not other things, and you're like, well, I want this up now. So just finding the spot for it.
Yep. Oh, Justin got the Haunted Mansion Roosevelt's. Do they have one? I don't remember completely, but do they have one that looks like the wallpaper? I think they do.
The purple.
Yeah. There was a West.
I love those Western
ropers.
ones. Yeah.
Those Western shirts are really good. I don't know that they look that great on me. Here's the thing with me and Roosevelt's. Like, I'll rock a Roosevelt's, no problem, but I really love the tuxes. All the wallpapers are sold out. And it glows under UV light. That's super fun. So when you go ride the ride, that's super cool. Sold a bunch of old console games. Was it GameStop? They give you like $2. Dang, it already sold. It just came out, right? Like I think it came out today, the Haunted Mansion stuff. And it already sold it. Maybe it came out Tuesday.
That's quick. It's that quick.
They have stuff drop like every week. Yeah. It's amazing. Like that business model fascinates me, that they can have new drops and new merch every week and things sell out.
I think the thing is like there's just it's fresh, right? Like so you know it's not gonna have. It's great. It's great that it sells out because you know that if you got it, there's not going to be a whole bunch of people with it. So I think that's the thing that's nice about it.
Disneyland is apparently going to revamp the outside queue.
Ooh.
Oh, I did see that. They announced that Tuesday. Tuesday's usually Disney News Day. Yeah, they're adding a merch. Give me a meet and greet or something.
I mean, they have it during like the Halloween stuff, so.
Oh, the wallpaper one sold out so fast. Jeremy didn't get one. That sucks.
Yeah.
They go like when the Roosevelt's, when they have one that like
you have to be prepared.
Within seconds it goes. Carlos said, I went on Haunted Mansion at Disney World the first time last Monday and obsessed with Disney World except for the heat. I have a hot take on this. I think the Disneyland Haunted Mansion is better. And don't come in here with the East or what is it, West is best. Get out of here with that stuff. But I'm very curious to try it again when we go in November. It'll be a little bit different because it'll be the the Nightmare Before Christmas overlay, which is like that puts it over the top over Disney World. You haven't done it yet.
I haven't done it.
Oh, it's so good. It is so good. The Disneyland or the Walt Disney World queue is better, but the Disneyland ride, I think the ride is better because you can see they keep up with it more and you don't stop 20 times.
I think that was the one thing I remember that I was able to see a lot more. Like the wallpaper, I was actually able to see it a lot better.
But the other thing,
and I don't know if it's because we went in during nighttime.
I think that's what it was. It's like our eyes were already adjusted to the dark.
Yeah.
And usually when we're in Magic Kingdom, I don't think we've ever ridden that ride at night.
Yeah.
So, Austin says the only time we went to Disneyland was during the overlay. Justin and Naomi are talking to each other. Are y'all in different rooms? Did y'all hear about the $1 billion theme park planned for Oklahoma? It's being built by the guy who created either Pizza Hut or Pizza Inn. I heard something about that.
It makes me think of, is it the guy that made... is it Star Pizza? Because wasn't that the guy that made? He was part of Chuck E. Cheese. Like he was the rival to Chuck E. Cheese.
He made Star Pizza.
I think that's what. Not. It was something else. It was basically the rival to Chuck E. Cheese. And they were like, that's why they were popping up all over the place.
Okay.
And but then he ended up buying Chuck E. Cheese and then selling it. So that might be something to look into. Showbiz, that's what it was.
Showbiz Pizza.
Troy. Oops.
Galactic Star Pizza.
So.
Oh, Mike's in here. I mean, hey, Mike. Did you get our graphics ready?
New Hope. Yes, it's pretty much a
Freddy's is based on like a true story.
No, it's
Yes.
taking
The animatronics eat the children. Spoiler.
Oh man.
We like cannot wait for the Five Nights at Freddy's movie.
The funny thing is like we were not big in playing the game. It wasn't until recently. And when you say
we're not big, we have never played the game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like we've never played the game, but we just like love the lore behind it.
Okay, Mike's here. Let's talk about Mosh Eisley for a bit. Because tomorrow is the big day, as Julie said in the beginning. Tickets go on sale for New York Comic Con.
Yeah.
It has been so cool because as a result of Mosh Eisley, we are getting to go to all these conventions. Like, we would have never gone to San Diego Comic Con.
Oh, no, absolutely.
Because we had tried to go before. The ticketing was...
Well, no, and I think the thing is like, it is more motivation to try to get into the con. Because, like, we're chasing that con, right?
We are literally throwing Mosh Eisley's just to get...
into the con.
Into cons. But yeah, I mean, San Diego was a ton of fun. And then immediately we went into... All right, what's the next one? What's the next one? And we're always planning. We're getting better about planning ahead for the future. So we already know what's ahead of New York, but tickets go on sale tomorrow, which is always a fun day. It's always like a thrill. Like in the group chat, it's always thrilling because it's like, okay, now we got to do this and this and this and coordinate all of these things. But one of the things that I want to call out specifically for this Mosh Eisley is that we're doing things differently in that Mosh Arctica. Previously, whenever we've done merch bundles, they've been available to purchase on the venue website. This time it's a Live Nation event, so it's like our first time like selling tickets through Live Nation. And we could have done it, but it just like it involves more steps. So to keep it easy and we're not having to like reach out for your shirt size or anything, we just created a web store that you can go and pre-order all of the things that you want, and then you pick it up at the venue. So we're not shipping anything. If you buy something from the web store, we are not shipping it out. The only way to get that stuff if you purchase it is to be at Mosh Eisley, New York on October 14th at the Gramercy Theater. So keep that in mind. But that also makes it a little easier because you get to pre-order, so you know that you're going to get
what you want.
What you want. And we've got some old stock up there too. So we have like the tour shirt from Anaheim. I think we have the Vegas. I don't know if we have the Vegas one. No, we don't have Vegas, but we have San Diego on there too. Look at all these. Mosh Eisley Outpost 31. Mosh Olympics Paris 2024. Tunisia Super Bowl. Oh God. Where is the Super Bowl next year?
Vegas.
Oh, she did say Vegas. I blocked that part out right here. Vegas was fun. Vegas was a lot of fun to do it at. But yeah, we're ramping up. We're trying to get more moshes on the books going because it's just a lot of fun. It's so nice to be around, like Star Cruiser. It's so nice to be around people that share the same mindset as you.
Yeah.
So, tickets go on sale tomorrow. It is 12 p.m. Eastern, which means it is 9 a.m. Pacific time. Mosh Eisley, Hoboken.
Yeah.
I mean, we're close. We're New York.
Yeah.
It's in the general.
Yeah,
it's drivable.
Little rock skip. Rock up topples.
What does that mean? Is that an Australian thing, Chad? Oh, I forgot. In that reel that I did where I was like, I've booked all these trips this month. I forgot Alani in there. That's one I want to do. Let's go to Alani. That'll be nice. One day.
Yeah.
Mosh Timbuktu.
But I think it's been we haven't really talked about Star Wars, but there is a new Star Wars show that came out.
Oh, yes.
We can mention it. We could talk about it. What's your feeling of it so far?
Has everybody here seen it? I would assume you've seen it if you're in the chat, and we can talk freely about Star Wars or about Ahsoka.
I don't think there's anything really like spoilers. Like this is not a spoilers type of.
Well, we're just always like, we don't like to give spoilers. So this is your spoiler warning. If you haven't seen it, get out for at least the next 10 minutes, probably. It's very strange to me. I love it. I love Ahsoka. I think Ahsoka's probably like all of our favorite characters, like collectively in this group, right? And I think it's fantastic Star Wars. I think there is so much about it that like harkens back to the original trilogy, but still calls forward to like the sequel trilogy and even the prequel trilogy with some of the politics and things that are at play there. It has it all in one, but it's also not something where I'm like counting down the days till next Tuesday.
I am.
Yeah?
I absolutely love it. This is like my show. And I think because I had so much connection to Clone Wars and Rebels, that I love this. The other shows that have come out, like Mandalorian, I really like that one, and we kind of talked about it where it was like that serial, like I like that little, and it was different. It was different enough, but it still felt Star Wars.
Right.
I wasn't crazy about Andor. I wasn't really crazy about Boba Fett. I loved Obi-Wan, but it was not like, it was more of just like a...
it was like fan service, like wrapping
That's
up
what it felt, yeah. It wasn't like there was stuff to theory. Like that's the part of this that I love is like, who is that? Who, like, I love that. Like, what does this mean? What is that? What is, being able to talk about it in that way is where it gets me excited. And like, of all the shows, this is the one that I've actually like, watched multiple times.
That's true, yeah.
And because I'm like trying to look at different things and the way someone's saying something like, oh, look at that, what does that mean? How's that? Whatever.
So here's the thing is, Ahsoka has everything. It has lightsabers. It has the Force. It has the light side and the dark side and the politics and the 70s costuming. Like, it has it all. It's fantastic. And I think where my hang up is, especially talking about it like today, is I feel like that third episode was a little bit of a filler episode. I feel like they came out swinging with episodes 1 and 2 because you got a lot more of the story and the setup.
I think the first two were filler because
really?
Because that was all stuff that we already knew.
If you watched
Clone
Wars and Rebels, which I have not watched,
and this one felt like I was like, okay, now we're getting into it.
But I haven't watched Clone Wars and Rebels as close. I know the basics. I know the overarching story and the things that happened, but I don't know all of the details to be able to like really get into it. Ooh, we sparked a conversation here.
Let me kind of go back a little bit. Bad Batch Mom, I agree with everything, but your take on Andor, because that was a masterpiece. But are you watching it multiple times? This is my gauge for if I really enjoyed a movie. Again, the original trilogy, I could watch those on repeat. And if I just want to feel good, I put on Return of the Jedi. I put on A New Hope. Put on Empire. Anytime I could put it on.
Yeah.
The prequels, I want a good laugh or something. Let me put these on. Like, there's different moods for the different movies. Force Awakens, I love BB. Last Jedi, it's a lot lower on my repeat. But Andor, I watched it that one time, and that was it. Book of Boba, I love Boba, but it didn't hit for me.
It was good.
And I was like probably that's my last Jedi of the TV series. Yeah. Kenobi was good because I could, again, there's those moments. I think that one was one of the ones where we kind of, for us in this household, we were saying it should have been a movie.
Should have been a movie.
They stretched it out.
Yeah. I think Boba Fett should have been a movie too.
It was great. It was I enjoyed it. If you give me Star Wars, I enjoy it.
Yeah.
But I think it could have been cut down, and there's some fat that could have been trimmed. But it's more lore for us. Different things that we probably wouldn't have gotten if it was just a movie. I think we have to appreciate.
Here's what Kenobi was probably like, which was like if it had been a book. You got a lot more insights into a lot more like subplots and all of these things versus whenever you take a book and you make it into a movie and you have to chop a lot of that, right? Julie says, I'm loving anything Ahsoka and Rebels, but I hear you, Sarah. It isn't as action-packed as I thought it would be. I mean, we've gotten some cool fight scenes.
Julie. Okay, look, I'm going to get through this list.
No, let's go through
because,
it.
Okay. The action scenes, like, this is something we pointed out. Or you pointed out.
I pointed it out.
This is the first time we've seen in live action 2 female lightsaber duel.
Like a duel with 2 females and lightsabers. Yeah.
And it wasn't... It was just... You know,
but it wasn't like watching like Charlie's Angels where
exactly
they're doing like
it was just
feminine poses and like putting it in your face that it is 2 females. It was like, as I was watching it, I was like, man, this is a badass fight. And then I'm like, wait a second, this is 2 women with lightsabers. I'm like, we have never seen 2 women like that.
And then we started thinking about it. We're like, this show is a lot of females in here.
It's all female leads. The only real
Baylan,
like, pertinent character that is not a female is Baylan, who arguably is one of the best characters of the show. And also
right now,
Shin is my favorite right now. But Baylan is amazing.
But the entire is like, and it's just being told that is not the focus. You don't realize it till afterwards. You're like, oh wait, this is what's going on.
Right. It's not. It's interesting because with this one, and I think maybe they've learned like a little bit too of the marketing of it, is that you don't have to market it as a female-led show or a female prominent cast. That's not going to help it be successful or not. Just tell a good story, have great characters, and it doesn't matter what their gender is, and let people fall in love with this beautiful story of these beautiful characters that you've crafted. And I think that's what I really love about Ahsoka. It's not like, oh, it's a women's show. It's just a good show.
And they happen to be women.
And they happen to be women. But I wanted more lightsabers on this one. Oh my God.
What do you mean?
But
you had
when she's outside of the ship with that outfit.
Sabine has to get to a point, like she wants to use the lightsabers,
I know,
and you got to calm down. You got to learn how to use the Force.
I just want her to go against Hu Yang with the lightsaber, with his big like lightsaber arm things he was doing.
So Sean, he watched Andor twice. Okay, you know, if you need a good cry, I guess.
I mean, I watched Andor for Mon Mothma. All the costumes.
Okay, Bad Batch. Like again, Rebels. I love that. You know, if you're cleaning the house, doing something around, Rebels and Clone Wars is so easy to put on.
Clone Wars is what I put on whenever I'm like making costumes.
Yeah, and I love that
the voice at the beginning. I love that too. Jason says I watch Rick's Road every morning.
the World War II fighter planes, like that was the first. When I saw him, I was like, oh man, that's like straight up a dogfight right there.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. And it was interesting, but like to me that's not like that type of fight sequence doesn't grab me.
See, and again, but this is where they have like so many different things.
They do.
So,
and I don't mind it. Well, I am saying like I overwhelmingly love this show. Like I'm very excited. I love this show, but it's also not like on say like Game of Thrones, for example, where we would be listening to podcasts all week about it. We were obsessed about it. We had group chats dedicated to Game of Thrones. It's not that level of hype. And I think that's the difference.
Well, I think because like our group of people are talking about it, you know, either
on
live
the
or the next day.
The other thing is we also weren't publicly sharing so much on the internet before, but we don't really talk about the Star Wars shows. Sean said we did our second Halcyon cruise a few weeks ago. My son told me you better watch Rebels. So we scrambled and feel like Ahsoka is making. You watched Rebels in just a few weeks? That's intense. So I watched the final seasons of Rebels and Clone Wars in its entirety, but the thing is like you would watch it with our son, and I just don't sit still long enough to watch episodes like back to back like you guys would. Yeah. So I would just be like in the kitchen or like in the general vicinity and like kind of watching through osmosis. So I wouldn't catch everything, but I caught probably like, I don't know, 70% of it.
Kind of getting through. We have some Bieber nuggets.
Gosh, say Bieber nuggets?
Yeah.
But go back to where we were. Oh my gosh, there's been so much.
Yeah.
He says I tend to put on Rebels when I go to bed. I want to restart Rebels, but I feel like I've restarted it so many times. I'm like, oh, I've seen this episode 5 times. I think I've seen them all. I just don't remember.
Bad Batch, Shin.
Yeah.
Right now she's
so like skulking.
She plays it
her
so
mannerisms.
like the two, Balin and her. She's very much like
Hawk. Like she has a target.
No. She reminds me of like a Doberman or something. Whereas like she's
like a land hawk.
yeah, like a land. But like she's ready to go, but she waits for him to like go. Mm-hmm. And
she's still not entirely
but she has a confidence even when like Morgan thinks that I destroyed him, and she's like,
yeah, okay, yeah. I'll take it from here, bucko.
So there's like a deserved confidence that she has.
Yeah. Wait, what happened with the Bieber nuggets? We call them Bieber nuggets in our house. Time for Bucky's BRB. I do love a Bieber nugget.
David Tennant, he's. I think that's like the surprise. Like I didn't think we were gonna see so much of Hu Yang. I thought we was just gonna be more of like a, hey, and then he goes off. But he's like,
it's a lot more Hu Yang and a lot less Chopper. But I think that I think it has been the perfect balance of Chopper, because Chopper is such a strong character that if you were putting him in constantly,
it's like the Baby Yoda
feel like you're
type
parading him around for like not the cuteness, but kind of like the. I don't know what it is. He's Chopper, right? He's got this X factor.
So Ahsoka might actually pass the Bechdel test.
Oh, do you know the Bechdel? I don't remember the exact.
It's something to do with.
Is if two women can talk to each other about something that's not related. I forget exactly what it is.
And that's the hard thing because there's Thrawn. So.
No, but the Bechdel test is about conversations between two women, but I think it's like that. It's not about gender or something. Forgive me.
Tom, we're gonna record one a Silver Sea Martini. I think we're gonna record the recipe tomorrow.
We'll make a reel. We will sacrifice.
We were gonna try today,
Friday
but
evenings.
just busy.
It was very busy. We've got work and school, and I had a training I had to do tonight that I forgot. I knew that was tonight, and I knew our live stream was tonight, but I didn't realize those were both the same night. And so we kind of and I took a nap. So whoops, like a hunting falcon. So.
Yeah, Hu Yang carries on a proud tradition of droids who have no filter. Yeah, I mean, it says it straight.
I mean, Chopper says it straight. The fact that I saw some posts online about it, but it was like when Chopper was talking, you're like,
I
speak droid now? Like, I understand him. Do I speak
Chopper? They didn't. I don't think they tweaked it a whole bunch, so you could kind of understand it. What would you say is your big, like, oh my gosh, like you couldn't believe it on this episode?
On this episode, it was Ahsoka going outside to fight off the planes, the ships, in that suit with her lightsabers. Like, that to me, she was like, okay, I'm going out. And Sabine's like, going out where? What do you mean?
Yeah.
That was cool. And just like the whole reveal of it, the fight itself, like that was great.
Yeah. No, that was cool.
That.
Mine was definitely seeing Jason.
That was good.
Because when Hera was talking to Mon, it was like, oh yeah, he's around here somewhere. Kind of like, like that was like
we're like, oh, I'm not gonna
that was
see
the
him
reveal.
for
Like,
this
can't we get to hear his name and that he's there? He's not dead or something like that, as we thought. But to actually see him come up and talk about, like, seeing him, and this was something that we kind of caught it, but also didn't catch it. But he has the pauldron, where it's like very reminiscent of Kanan, and that he wants to be a Jedi, and it's just like, it was just, again, that was to me the best part of it. It was just like, I didn't think I was gonna. It was like seeing Luke in Mandalorian, where you're like, no, they're not going to show him. They're not going to show his face. It's not going to be a long time. It's going to be for a second. And like to actually see it there, you're like, oh man, like, no, they're doing it. Like he's real.
So now that we have Jason, who I assume is what, like maybe 10 in the show? Assuming that he ages like a human, right? We don't know how Twi'leks age, but assuming that he's 10, how old was he at the end? But even Rebels was like a flash forward, wasn't it? At the end,
that was a flash forward. Yeah,
that was a flash forward. So how much time passed between like the actual like ending story of Rebels minus that flash forward to Ahsoka? Because that's what I'm trying to figure out. I'm like, shouldn't Jason have been older? But it couldn't have been too much of a flash forward anyway.
I think it was just a small period, a short period, because we're assuming that that's when she's training Sabine. So it's not going to be for a long time. And then she just like...
But it could have been like 10 years.
It could have been.
Because you have to think about like the end of Rebels. Jason was in utero.
No, but that flash forward is when they were showing him as a kid. Like, so...
But he was still young.
So at the end of Rebels...
Yeah.
Like, Jason wasn't there.
Yeah. Well, he was, but he wasn't. Well, nobody knew.
No, but I'm just saying, like, so Ahsoka starts training Sabine right after Thrawn and Ezra leave.
Yeah.
Starts training, so that's him aging. So he's 5, 6. You know, so there's a point that she stops training. He grows another 5 years, and then that's when they meet back up.
And that's Rebels. Or that's Ahsoka.
No, that's Ahsoka.
Okay.
So it's like, it's not, it is and it isn't, right?
So forgive me, but what is the time difference in the original trilogy movies?
So Kanan died in 1
BBY.
Before Yavin? Is that right?
It must have been. Right?
So it's about 10 years.
Okay. I love that we also use the same indicator of time as like AD and BC. Like it's okay, we picked like a really prominent amount like event.
This one.
And now everything is either before that event or after that event. We should do that for Star Cruiser.
Before Star Cruiser?
Yeah. BGS, AGS.
So I don't know. I'm really enjoying it. You know, I have a soft spot for Ahsoka, and this show's doing it for me. So
it's good.
I'm and again, this is where I'm like getting excited because the Thrawn, like we haven't even gotten to Thrawn.
No.
And I think the big misconception that people that don't necessarily watch it or don't know Thrawn, I don't think he's like this evil, like he's not a politician. And that's the big thing. He's not a politician. So all this stuff.
He's very calculated.
He's very calculated, but he's not like I don't even remember what video it was, but it's like he's not trying to kill people. He's trying to do other things, and if it means people dying, then he's okay with it.
A tactician.
Yeah, he's just like he's a good character.
What is his end goal?
From what I've gathered from the books, like his story is like he's wanting to progress the ascendancy, the Chiss. Like he's wanting to make sure that they live on and they're the power, or not necessarily the power, but just the that they're not going to be. There's nobody that could compete with them, or like could take them out, type of thing. That's why he even came over to this galaxy.
Oh.
Was just to see if there was any threats to them.
Just scoping out the scene.
Yeah. Yeah. That's all he's about.
Military strategist versus political strategist.
Rich. I think that a lot of that stuff is, I think Filoni's trying to make that happen.
I mean, it seems like it with what was it, Mandalorian season 3? Because the thing is, like, if Moff Gideon was that much of a baddie and, like, a calculated baddie, like, imagine seeing Thrawn in live action like that. It's going to be good.
Yeah. Jessica, really excited to see Hayden again, too. Hoping for Zeb. Yeah, I want to see Zeb.
I want to see Zeb.
I've seen some interesting chatter that Merrick could be Starkiller from Force Unleashed. See, I think that would be the coolest thing to see Starkiller. And, because, like, his name is Galen Merrick. Like, not, you know, in the Starkiller, they're the game.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be interesting to see that, but you know, some of the videos that I've watched, it's kind of like in the games he was so powerful that it wouldn't be like he wouldn't live up to what Starkiller was, so it would be a letdown to people, which I could see. And the other part of it is like it's almost too obvious. That's where I feel like it wouldn't be that. But just the fact that again, this is the fun part is like we could have these theories like, oh, could it be this? Could it be that? Like,
you know what it feels like?
You get excited that, okay, what's for that next episode? What's going to, you know, what are they going to tell me?
Mephisto?
Yeah.
Mephisto? Like, who is Merrick? Is it Mephisto?
Yeah, Brent, Thrawn, it's all about protecting his people.
I think Merrick is 3 Ewoks in a trench coat. Yes, more Zeb. That's what I'm excited to see Zeb. Like, I know Thrawn. I'm interested to see Ezra, but just like how fantastic Zeb looked in that 5 seconds that we saw him in Mando. I'm so excited to see.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited. We need more Lothcats though.
Yeah. Hey, I'm trying to think of when they'll come back. I mean, now we've left.
They're not going to.
So
they're not going back to
only
anytime
forward.
Soon. Only forward.
Merrick speculation. I've heard some interesting ones. Right now I've latched onto the Arthurian lore of that name, that it's someone that's being mind warped by a witch,
Morgan,
by the Night Sisters. That is right now where my head's at, and I haven't had any, and just the way his like armor looks, like he's an Inquisitor, but
he looks like a knight.
Like a knight.
Yeah.
So that's just like right now where I'm sticking more towards is like someone good that's been converted that needs to be like let go. But the other thing is like, again, they're mercenaries, so it's not really that they're playing sides. They're just trying to survive.
Yeah.
So like, what is that? What is it? What are these three doing? Again, right now these are the big Baylan.
Wait, these
Shin,
three? What do you mean?
Baylan, Shin, and Marek.
Oh.
Are the three that I'm kind of like, you know, what are they doing?
Yeah.
What's their part in this whole thing?
What's their end game?
Yeah.
I think that's the interesting thing to me too, is like what Baylan said in, I guess, the end of the first episode, where he said it would be a shame to kill a Jedi because there's so few of them left. So it's like he doesn't have a soft spot for them, but he also recognizes the position.
I saw that, Julie.
That they're in.
And then
wait, what is it? Did you notice that Merrick had a
Sabine's
blue?
was red.
Yeah, but on the first episode, ooh, what does that noise mean?
Oh.
Ash is here. Thank you, Ash. But on the first episode, all of the helmets were red. And then the intro.
That was different.
That was super different. The left justified.
Yeah.
And no, like, perspective on it. And I think it was even a different font. It was all.
I think
it was also weird.
I think what they're hinting at is that we're gonna see Sabine possibly use the Force, but it's gonna be in a point of like anger. So it's gonna be like dark side. So like it's gonna push her to a point of she's gonna to be able to move something, and it's not gonna be good. And so she's got to back, or she gets scared, she backs off of it, type of thing. And
yeah,
I'm not ever using the, a la Rey, I'm never using the Force again.
So like just the standard Force trope.
Yeah.
What?
Brent says, I think Thrawn is going to end up being a goodish guy, and he teams up with Ahsoka to fight a greater threat to the galaxy in the final slated to do wrap up. Again, this is where Thrawn, he is not a bad guy. He is just trying to he's just a tactician. He's always like about the mission, and it doesn't matter what side he's kind of on, as long as it's his side that he's defending. And that's the big thing. Like it's a very peculiar, because like when at beginning before the show started, when I was thinking, okay, how did Ezra survive? As like, to me, it's obvious. Like first he's going to be angry at Thrawn and blaming Thrawn, whatever. And Thrawn's going to say, hey, the only way we could survive is my mind and your skills, and even Thrawn's like, he's pretty skillful himself, but the power of a Jedi is way more.
Right.
But that's how they're going to survive. And he probably convinces Ezra, like, hey, you could talk to Purgle, get us out of here. And he's like, well, I can't talk to Purgle. And Thrawn is so like determined to learn that he teaches Ezra how to use the Force through not knowing how to use the Force.
Whoa.
Right? So, and again, there's like even more, because I told you too, like the Chiss, they have like Force, quote unquote, Force users, the third side. Yeah, the Skywalkers. Yeah. So it's like they have Force, and I think Thrawn he is sensitive to the Force. Like from what I saw, I didn't finish the last 2 books from the Ascendancy, but what I was kind of seeing is like he was able to think on like precognition type of stuff. So that's kind of Force wielding right there.
Force-ish.
Wielding.
Here's one of the things I think is interesting and fresh about Ahsoka is that Sabine is not strong in the Force. And Huyang has no problem saying that. Like, it is not Mary Sue or any of those things that people claim that Rey is, even though that's exactly how Luke was. Like,
Savage Press, Hondo, yeah.
But it's not like she's amazing and they're like, oh, you're so strong in the Force, we just need to teach you how to tap into it. It's like, nah, you kind of suck. Like, you could do it, but you're not that great. But we don't have a lot of options anymore either. So, like, let's just make this work.
Oh, Mike Jant, he's Rinsler. Tron, yep. Remember that?
Who, Thrawn?
No, Marek.
What do you mean?
So in the second Tron, the Rinsler, the bad program, was Tron that was mind wiped or mind controlled.
Oh.
Come on, Sarah.
Bro, I watched that movie like a decade ago. Like, that takes no space in my brain anymore. Oh, Thomas says, I'm popping in to say I missed the bill of the stream because I was driving down to Disneyland. Oh, for the last Wondrous Journey show. Oh, yeah, it does end at the end of August. But doesn't that mean now that San Francisco's opening? I believe. No, different parks, but Wondrous Journeys was that one with Baymax flying over the castle.
Oh.
The fireworks show.
Austin, I pay no mind to those colors and never counting to anything. I feel like there's always a theory in each show that never pans out based on it.
I think that's fair.
I mean, that's always us, the fans.
Literal red herrings.
Yeah.
Wish I could see it one more time. I loved Wondrous. I hope it comes back in January. I hope it comes back because I really wanted to see Wondrous Journey. Wondrous Journeys. But we never stay late enough. We always end up just leaving the parks right before fireworks.
Ooh. Board Game Cantina. Expecting Sabine to discover latent Night Sister powers. The 3 faces at the opening seemed important. Morgan, Shin, Sabine.
But what would Shin have?
I mean, she has the Force, so she is. I think the big thing is like these different races of people call the Force different things, and they use it in different ways and control it in different ways, but it's just the Force.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you're going to kind of see is like, here's a
It's like 3 different
Night
ways
Sister,
of
the
tapping
magic
it into.
force. Here's a classic force in the sense of Shin, and then Sabine's going to be a different type of
That
force.
was interesting in that Hera was insistent to
Austin.
Ahsoka that
I'm a bad
Sabine
guy.
was the
I'm
one
not
that would have to open the map. Like, I thought that was something that kind of got like glossed over.
I think it's because they didn't want to
Like, why was it that
because
she
I think
needed to...
she would be the tactician of the rebel, the Ghost Crew.
Yeah, Austin gets it. I'm a bad guy, but not a bad gay. Shin is
Ash.
me. Shin is so good. Like, I really, really like Shin.
Oh man, it just went to the bottom.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's like Kanan said, she's blocked by her Mandalorian-ness.
Sabine and Ahsoka are going to have to come to terms with a lot if they find Thrawn and Ezra in an alliance of sorts.
I don't think. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be an alliance. It's just it's just an alliance, right? It's just like mutual survivability type of thing.
Right. According to Fresh Baked, he's confident that that's the show they'll revert to after the Christmas season, but there's a chance that Disneyland won't be doing fireworks generally after 2023. They're expensive. They're very, very expensive. But I also don't think that they would have put so much effort and production into a fireworks show if they're not going to have it for that long. Because it was like not even a year.
Yeah,
Brooke's in here. Brooke, tell us the deets on Wondrous Journeys. Is it coming back?
Meeting today.
Oh my God. I want to meet. We've met Baymax though. I want to meet Hero.
Hero and Baymax.
Yeah.
But is it Baymax in a suit or just
It's Baymax in a what versus what?
the fluffy one?
Yeah, I think it's that one.
Oh.
Oh, it did open today. Okay. San Francisco kicked off today.
Whoa, Ash. Very important Star Wars related questions. Sarah, did you get your hair done?
I did get my haircut. I ended up getting. Pull it all back.
Wow, it must.
Whoa! I put it in my stories today. Don't.
Oh, okay.
I came back and Steven was like,
Cheater,
"What?
Ash.
You did something?" No, I ended up getting probably like 4 inches cut off of it because it was just like stringy. When I got really sick after Comic-Con, I was losing my hair in clumps for a few weeks. It's also straight, which I never wear my hair this straight, and it's like it looks so flat. I mean, it feels like my hair is like immensely like soft and shiny and wonderful right now, but I like my Texas hair.
Chad, as an artist, she can see and analyze things that some people can miss, and that's the same thing Thrawn did. He learns things through art. So I think they're gonna be
Through
like
art, Thrawn.
Yeah, like he just like that's like people's history, like different art that they keep, whatever. So
Very intuitive.
so I think that's where they're gonna be almost like equals.
Sabine should have kept enough hair to do a Padawan braid in an obnoxiously loud complimentary color. That is so. Shin has the braid, which I thought was pretty cool. I'm over here just like gushing about Shin. Such a good character. Like, her costume is amazing because, like you were saying, it harkens back to like Clone Wars where it's Jedi robes, but they have the armor, but it's got very interesting. Like, we've been so into costuming lately because you're just like costume man now. I was going to call you a costume boy, but you're a man now. But making all these patterns and stuff. And so anytime we see these costumes, we're like, how'd they do that? Could I do that? Would that look good on me? What character would I do? Where would I even go in this? So I'm obsessed with her. Mike, you mean like they put so much money in production into Star Cruiser?
Too soon, Mike. Oh, Danny. Sabrina reaching out for the cup. Exactly.
It's like when you reach for like the light switch, you're like, maybe it'll just turn off on its own. I don't want to get up.
I felt that there was going to be, I felt like there was going to be like a funny moment where it was just watching the cup and then like the ship, like it tips over and
You're
it's
like,
because like the ship was getting shot at or something like that. But just like for a second, and I was like, nah, they're not gonna do like it's just wanting us to.
I thought it was funny though, and I caught it the first time, but then I caught it on our rewatch too, where she's trying to move it, and then Ahsoka's like, Sabine, I've got Hera up here, and so she's like, we'll resume this later. Or she says something, and it just like sits on the glass, like the shot sits on the glass for like a good like 2 to 3 seconds, as if the glass is like, yeah, we'll see about that. Which part of Baymax are you going to talk to? Oh my God, the comments. The comments on that reel will not stop coming, and it is like, I'm gonna be completely. It is like the worst people on the internet that are commenting on this reel now, and just making it about things that it was not even closely related to. But I'm just like,
it's
with the internet now. Like, I don't respond to any of the comments anymore. Like, I think it's got 2 million views on it, and they're just like, it's just some of the stuff. They're like, oh God. I told Steve, I was like, should we like I don't even know what to do with this thing anymore, but it belongs to the internet. It doesn't belong to us.
This is an important question. How many times did you try the cup trick as a kid? Or was that just me?
Oh, 100%.
Not as a kid. It's all the time. Chad, I whenever I feel like I'm in tune with the Force, like this is gonna be the moment that I just could move something out of the way.
I used to do it as a kid.
Not yet. Nothing yet.
Not yet. Shin's actress looks like a combined Scarlett Johansson and Elizabeth Olsen. That's pretty spot on.
Oh.
I don't know who she is and what she's been in before.
Now we're going. Yeah, it's.
You want to be that one, right?
Imagine. Oh man, that'd be so great.
Do it to the traffic lights every day. Or when you walk in the automatic doors, you just do a... Did you see that thing that like Ewan McGregor does that every time he walks into an automatic door? He just does like a little, like every time he does it. And he's like, I get embarrassed when people realize that it's me doing that. He's like, but I can't help just like throw a little bit of force out there. See, Jessica knows.
No. The best thing was
Cal's here.
Like when you had like a cold drink, like it had a lot of condensation, like on a glass table. And so
my gosh! And then it like slides.
It would just slide, and you're like,
look! Somebody look at this.
Oh man.
Like, even though you know it's not anything that you did, or like it stops and somebody looks at it, you're like, no, it was moving here, and you like pick it up and you try to recreate it, and it won't do it. And you're like, oh, never mind. Oh, yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it a lot. I think it's fantastic that it's finally out. I want the magic band, even though our last episode we were talking about how we don't need any more magic bands. Roosevelt's hit both wallets that went in. Wait, you're not in the con already? It's late, right? Bad Batch is at Dragon Con this weekend. When you try and start the car with the Force and it turns on. Oh, that's right. You were at Buc-ee's. Do they have Roosevelt's at Buc-ee's? Wait a second. Ugh. That's a lot.
Oh man, that's a road trip right there.
That is a road trip.
That's fun.
Do you want to talk about our road trip?
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna try to go to.
We're gonna try to do like a true like one day. They have Buc-ee's exclusive shirts. I had no idea. Buc-ee's has Roosevelt's. That's super funny.
I'm gonna have to get one.
Right? Go visit Buc-ee's. We're going on a road trip. We're gonna run into a Buc-ee's, I'm sure. But yeah, we're gonna do a one-day road trip. We're gonna try to do a one-day road trip because the new Meow Wolf opened up in Grapevine, Texas. So we're gonna try.
Yeah.
We're gonna try to get out there, do it in a day. Like go out there, do it, and then come back. the skeleton dance Roosevelt's at Buc-ee's. We have not been on a road trip in so long.
I think it's just before the kids. Because it's like a road trip with kids is like doubled or tripled sometimes.
Yeah.
So I think that's why we've been
concerned about. Like you and me, we could absolutely road trip this in a day. With the kids, it's gonna be an adventure. Yeah, so we did an episode, I guess a month or two ago, on like other kinds of immersive experiences. And so we went to Meow Wolf in Las Vegas when we were there for Mosh Eisley last year.
Omega Mart.
And it is absolutely incredible. It is like an escape room, but also nothing like an escape room. It's just this like art installation, and this story unfolds the more that you interact with it and the more you explore. And you could be there for hours. Like I think we were there for probably 2.5 hours, and we feel like but
I think that was Omega Mart though. I have a feeling that this one's gonna be a bit different, because Omega Mart is like pretty much open. Like you go in and you could just kind of like explore, and the story unfolds. This one is different in the sense that you get a time to go. No,
that's how it was for Omega Mart too. Okay. I had to buy a time. But I have no idea what to expect from it, and I don't want to know.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're going out there this weekend, so it's gonna be fun. Just fly to Alabama. We've got a ton of Buc-ee's. I think Buc-ee's originated in Texas, didn't it? Isn't the original Buc-ee's the one on the way to San Antonio?
Could be.
I think so. And then we also have fake Buc-ee's. To drive to Walt Disney World from New York every year when I was a kid.
That's a drive.
That was our last road trip. We drove to Disney World for when we went for Celebration 2017.
Yeah.
And our son was 2. And that's what started this whole thing. It was a road trip. It was because we had to transport BB-8. But yeah, so we've got the long weekend coming up.
In the basement of the Alamo.
The basement of the Alamo. Get out of here, Mike.
Yeah, I guess it was a good haircut.
Well, thank you. It's because the stylist styled it today. So once I start styling it again, it'll go back to not looking so great. But yeah, long story short, a Bad Batch Mama. When I got sick like a month ago, I was losing my hair in clumps, and it was just like looking real thin. So I told Steven, I was like, I want to chop it so it looks fuller. And he was like, I come back and he was like, it doesn't look any fuller. But you think of fullness up here.
I do.
I think of it as just like the whole picture. So she did some things, because I also told her my little bangs. Let's go into hair a little bit. These little bangs that I had,
Here, I'll put it to
my
you.
curtain bangs that I had that I'm growing out, because they got really long. I noticed on our last episode with Dano, when I had curled it, they like curled up like this. And the way I described it is like, it looks like a handlebar mustache on the top of my head. But she explained to me, like, it may look like that because of the way that because of the way it's growing out. And like, it's too thin. And so literally it's just like anti-gravity, like flipping up. And so she like helped shape all of it. So I need to wash it tonight. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how when I style it, how it looks like. Because it feels so, like when you get your hair done, you don't know. But like when you get your hair done, they put all kinds of like fancy products in it. And it feels so nice and shiny. And who knows? Oh my God, I have 43 text messages from the Mosh Eisley chat. Mike, are you in here? Is this you? Is this your doing? Big D is in here. Meow Wolf is amazing. I've been to the Vegas and the Denver ones and spent hours. It's like being on Syndicate Spice without all the expense. Julie, I love that we can geek out about Star Wars and have hair tutorials.
With that, I think it is time.
I think it is time. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight.
Thank you, everybody.
This was fun.
I know it's an empty glass now, but
Tabuite.
No, we should have it, I think, posted tomorrow, huh? The recipe and the video.
We'll suffer for our art. Yeah. We'll actually record it. We'll make it look nice instead of us just like randomly throwing stuff. But that's it. Thank you so much for hanging out. See See you next time.